Alright everyone, welcome back to another 5-star finishes video. Finding some time to edit all of last year's videos. A lot of the videos that you've seen are actually from 2 years ago. This Weston video is over a year old now, and I had to rewatch it a few times and try to remember what we did. This is the Weston Bay Shores kind of entryway there to the pool. It was extremely hot and humid in there. You can't really tell from the video, but it was very, very steamy, very difficult to work and get the tape to stick and everything. As you can see, the walls were kind of just falling apart a little bit. They were putting Dectin onto the floor, and then they were going to do a Dectin baseboard, so we didn't worry too much about putting the drywall compounds on the bottom and really smoothing it up perfectly. Plus the finish is kind of a large dragged finish as well, so we weren't too concerned about that. There's an acrylic stucco, as you can see, on some of the walls there, and that back wall near Kevin there in front of him. I think they had like a vinyl logo or something. They pulled that off. A lot of the wall was a little bit rotten. But due to time constraints and budgets and different things, and obviously closing the pool for a certain amount of time, didn't want to rip everything out and redo it. The wall was in decent condition, so you'll see we kind of just gave it a quick sand and a scrape, tore out any little crappy areas that were at the bottom there. And then we did a 1 coat of Sherwin-Williams Extreme Bind Primer just to kind of consolidate everything and also stick to that kind of glossy paint that they've put over top of that stucco. And then we went in with the quartz primer after that. Obviously we soaked that wall down as much as we could, that first one, to really get the polymers inside the drywall compound, and just allowed those polymers to go in and consolidate everything as much as possible and harden it up. It was very difficult to get the tape to stick to the ceiling, so you're seeing we're using like orange stucco tape. It was just so wet and moist. Quite difficult to get the plasters to dry and everything in there without some kind of dehumidifier. So there's Kevin rolling on the quartz primer there as well. Now the base, in order to reinforce that, I had the boys put our 9-inch adhesive mesh over that, and then we just spray it with Trimtex. That's the Trimtex spray that drywallers typically use to install their corner beads. It works really well for micro cement or any situations where you want to be installing EFS mesh. Just make sure it doesn't, fall off or come down. There you can see the rough texture of that acrylic stucco, and then that kind of texture it's left over from all the glue residue. So here I decided as a system for this particular project that we were going to go in with our Italian base coat, the decorative base coat fine. That's going to just consolidate that surface further. You're going to see a little bit of bubbling happening. That's just from the moisture of the plaster still getting through to a little bit of that glue residue and just lifting it up a little bit. But as it all dried back together, all the polymers kind of consolidated it all and hardened it up, and this wall's been here quite a while now with no issues at all. It can be a little bit scary doing these things. You never know exactly how they're going to turn out. Obviously, under, best conditions, you want to just rip the wall out and completely redo it. But, with a lot of years of experience, you can, use all of the information that you have from other projects and usually put together a system that's going to work quite well. If you really wanted to go a bit crazy on this, and we're really concerned about issues or delaminations, you could just EFS mesh the entire wall. And then even if parts aren't fully stuck down, the mesh creates just like a uniform system, and the whole thing would just be adhered like one piece. Here the boys are just continuing going over that rough kind of acrylic stucco, again with that Venetian Italian base coat fine. We also have a coarse version if you have even heavier texture to go over. You can see how nice and kind of stone-like that is already becoming. I didn't get video of that one day, I wasn't there, but the boys put as a second layer our concrete look fine over top of that. Now the reason I like to do that for dragged finishes is if you have a fine product underneath of your coarse product, it just reduces the suction and it gives you more open time to do your drags. If you put a coarse product underneath it, or say you do 2 coats of concrete look coarse, it's just more water absorption into your wall that's gonna kind of make things more difficult for you. So you can use coarser products to kind of bulk up the wall and then kind of close off the porosity a little bit with your concrete look fine. So moving on to the combing here, as you can see, I'm gonna actually just check here. No, so that's real speed, and then most of the rest of the video is at 2x, although you can't really tell, but it's painstaking doing this finish. You know, going up and down these walls with this level of precision and trying to do it with a comb is not the most fun thing. I've tried it every way. I've tried taping it on the paint poles. I've tried making contraptions so that it's like a pressure switch, so that it like moves up and down and flexes so that you can just run the paint pole up and down the wall. The problem is you need to maintain the exact same kind of angle on that comb. The moment the angle changes, the drag and the pattern completely changes. So when you get the pole down lower, the comb ends up being more like straight on to the wall, and it just doesn't comb the plaster in the same way. It looks really bad. So like everything we do, we put the time in, we do it by hand. I hand combed every inch of those walls myself, and exactly at that speed, and we use the laser level to make sure that we're not going off track. Another interesting thing too is, so this is a combed finish. We're not doing a like a raked finish where you're using a closed cell, so you're not using, say, like a tile adhesive trowel or a notch trowel or something like that that's actually going to create the exact same thickness. So because you're combing it, basically if there's too many lines and ridges, and if one section is thicker than the other, you're going to notice it because it's not actually setting the depth for you. As you can see, the combs are quite long. And so Kevin here, my job was to comb the wall up and down, and Kevin's job was to lay it on in sections. And you see we've got that tomahawk trowel out there as well, and to try to get it as even as possible. Now overall the finish looks quite amazing in like a large setting and a nice general aesthetic, but obviously if you look at it up close, it's not going to be perfect, as you can see. And we're going to show you some tips and tricks coming up as well about how to knock off all those dags and tighten these walls up as well. So the workflow is mix a bunch of plaster, have enough for your wall ready to go, and one person should be applying and, you know, making sure that it's all the right depth and thickness, and then one person works the comb and also keeps the lines straight. Now it takes quite a bit of practice. I know I'm kind of making it look easy in the video there, but holding that, you know, this is not a wall that you don't need a ladder for, so you have to hop up onto the ladder, get to the top, as you can see, start following your lines through, and then at some point you have to hold that comb perfectly steady, else you're going to have a joint line in the middle of your wall, and that looks really, really bad. So just watch this transition. So right there, you have to maintain all of your focus on that one hand and make sure it doesn't move at all or change the angle. Then you can move the ladder out and then continue on down the wall so you don't have any joint lines. Like I said, that looks easy, but I have had people purchase this system from us, you know, more than once, and definitely they have a few issues with this particular finish. And that's why I'm so excited to finally release this video. It's not the most exciting thing to watch, I know, but there are people out there that will benefit greatly from just seeing this particular technique and workflow. Now, watching Kevin here, he's obviously not too concerned about how he's putting it on, so he's just chucking it up there and then using the tomahawk after to kind of feel how much is on there and take any excess off and fill the voids and everything. This did take quite a bit of trial and error and practice. We did practice on a wall kind of before we got in here and made sure we were really kind of getting the look and effect that we wanted. Your clients, you know, some of them, they might expect this to be some perfect finish as if it's like made out of wood. If you're looking for more perfect striations, perfect depths, shapes, things like that, I always recommend that people do millwork first and then, you know, clad it in plaster, especially when people are asking for fluted finishes. No matter how much you work on a flute, it's going to look quite imperfect in my opinion, compared to just having the millwork panels installed and then just putting the plaster over top of it. So here we're working on that last final section of wall. Coming up, you're also going to see us start to stain. So we used a concrete water-based stain. Not only did that help us achieve the right color, we used the Sherwin-Williams Color Top water-based stain. So that helps us achieve the color that the designer wants. And it also achieves obviously better water resistance and humidity protection in that particular area. And then in the final part, we also installed our stain shield penetrating sealer. So this is an interesting trick. So don't wait too long. This has to happen the same day, and probably when that plaster is about 70 to 80% set, so that it's firm enough that you can rub your hands over it, but not so firm that those dags won't come off. So you can, it takes a while, but we literally comb over the walls, if you want to say it like that, but we go over the walls, we edge out the little lines as much as we can. We use our hand, and you're going to see a nice close-up here. You can knock all of that stuff that's raised up from the comb off of the wall as well. And that's quite satisfying, seeing it all come together. And you did see the photos at the start, and then we'll put the photos at the end again as well. It does look very, very nice on the whole once it's all finished up. Not an easy finish. I'd place this probably at like a 9 out of 10. Probably on the same level as trying to produce real, proper, polished Grisello spatulata finishes in terms of technique and time. It's very time consuming, but quite rewarding. Now, because it is a striated finish, although you didn't see it here, but I already rolled that wall with stain, and then I had Harry come back with a lime wash brush and actually, you know, work the stain up and down into all those little nooks and crannies so you don't miss anything. We never try to do anything quickly or skip steps. We're always trying to do the best that we can, and also trying to show people through example how they can do the best work themselves as well. So that's me just rolling the stain on there, and then Harry will come in behind me after and hand brush it all. You can see how much more clean those walls are now. You see how there aren't all those kind of dags. There's, you know, little bits and pieces still sticking out here and there, but it's considerably less rough than you were looking at when we were dragging it initially. We've got many videos coming up soon. I'm going to start working on some more. We've got a lot of micro cement videos to show, and very beautiful floors and 5,000 square foot projects. We're going to show the nice Jaybird Kingsway project, which is all the walls, a lot of ceilings, and a lot of the floors to go as well. So can't wait to share all that with you, and we've got quite a few training courses coming up as well if anyone wants to check that out on our shop page as well. So there you can see by how wet it is underneath. We put some drop sheets down, and we put the stain shield. The penetrating sealer is going to help with more water resistance, but it's not absorbing so much into the wall, and so it kind of runs down, so you just have to kind of mitigate that and just leave something absorbent beneath. Please subscribe, it really helps us out, and if we hit 1,000 subscribers soon, we'll be able to put our shop and all our products into YouTube as well for you to easily purchase. Thanks for watching our videos. Bye bye.